Hello everyone, and welcome back to Crypto Hut, the channel where we discuss cryptocurrency every day. I dare you to read through several analysis lessons and news items. We're going to talk about Wonderland today. Yes, it's Wonderland money once more. And we'll try to figure out whether you're wondering why money is a Ponzi scheme or not. I've seen that many of you have begun to discuss it in the comments section. And I'd want to assist you in clarifying a handful of items that may be quite beneficial, in order to comprehend the risk and how to handle such platters. I'd also like to clarify that I'm not a bearer of time, that Wonderland's token. I'm not interested in the platform and have only $100 to my name. I put it at the bottom simply to see how it would work. As I do every time I conduct a platform overview, I try it out in order to understand how it works. Is it efficient? And what are the dynamics that are unique to that type of logical explanation why I'm doing what I'm doing? This film is intended to help you become more aware, as I feel that awareness is the key, in order to maximize your profits. And the DeFi environment is truly a jungle teeming with life of every type of possibilities. And the reason I made this channel is to help you make sense of the chaos, the idiosyncrasies or dynamics that can cast a shadow from time to time, and it is for this reason that I would like to return to this subject. And the reason I'll be making more movies regarding Klima, DAO, and Olympus DAO is because there are other platforms that look a lot like the ones we saw in Wonderland. And, if you missed it, I believe the link to my summary is also the link to my first video about Wonder Money, in order for you to see how it works. In our industry, remember that everything we'll talk about today is solely about Wonderland money and has nothing to do with anything else. The platforms Klima, DAO, and Olympus DAO are all separate. Even though they are so near to wanting alimony, we shall discuss them later. Before I begin, I'd like to request that you subscribe to the channel. And do give me a thumbs up if you want to help me build the channel and reach more people. That's a tiny gesture that means a lot to me and can help me attain my objective, more individuals, and keep me going on this road. So, if you do that, I will be eternally thankful. Remember, as I already indicated, that everything I will say is purely informative, as well as no financial advice. If you want to invest in something, go ahead and do it. I'm not here to tell you if the marvel of money is good or evil, rather, I'm here to describe it. What are the opportunities and dangers associated with using this platform? Okay, we're ready to begin, and I'd like to begin by defining a Ponzi scheme. To comprehend what a Ponzi scheme is, we can describe a waiver for many aspects. The first perplexity is that a Ponzi scheme is a system in which people are drawn, with the assurance of a very high return on investment. The second uniqueness is that people have begun to obtain this type of return on investment. They make investments in order to gain people's trust and encourage them to call others, in order to entice more people to join the system. The final characteristic is that this system just collapses at some point, and the reason for this is that there aren't enough people coming at one point, in order to compensate those who have previously contributed to the system. It is critical to remember that a Ponzi scheme is a system in which people enter and exit, bringing money inside, and this money is used to pay all the people who are already there within the system. The fourth and last peculiarity is that this type of strategy, this type of system, is fairly common. Shallow, you don't truly comprehend how it works, nor do you understand the fundamental orders. Okay, now let's try to analyze and say if you want alimony it has this kind of, whether it's a rarity or not. And, of course, I'd prefer to begin with the first. And the answer is yes, both at the same time. Yes, but not because it is unquestionably true that Wonderland money attracts people. I'm not making the pledge since it's incorrect. However, we have really high returns. That is completely correct. The reason you're using $1 money is because the platform says it will pay. There are over 6,000 APIs available to you. This is why I feel it hasn't entirely fulfilled this type of point, because of what they have to offer. If what money is offering is more than simply a promise, if you can understand exactly how it works if you read the documentation. It's more than simply a pledge, it's a process. And it's always just math that works. And that is not the same as making a promise that must be kept. A number of persons. At the same time, it is true that we cannot be certain that the plasma is safe. It's not 100% secure because it hasn't been audited. We don't know who's behind the entire team. So we can't even be certain there isn't a rock pool. At the same time, I can only state that, at least in my opinion, that is just my opinion. Please express any more thoughts. I'm not saying anything. I'm not here to argue that what I'm saying is correct. It is simply my opinion based on my study. And from what I've observed, Daniela Desargali is also working on this project. You may learn more about him by following him on Twitter, Danielle Thurialt. In the explanation below, I will also be his Twitter handle. This is also the person behind Abracadabra Money and PepsiCo Finance. So, at the very least, it increases my trust in the platform and encourages me to do so. I'm not sure who's behind it all. Because I don't know T personally, I can't be certain that he is truly behind the platform. As a result, I can tell you that nothing will be done to help him. And I know who is truly supporting the squad. But, in terms of my research, I can say with certainty that I at least believe that. This isn't a natural pool. But, as always, when it comes to defiance, there is no such thing as assurance. We only need to make any type of supposition. But, because we never know what will happen, we are constantly prepared for every circumstance. Let's go on to the second oddity. Let us try to figure out if it applies or not. It was about the sharing of a portion of the return on investment in Wonderland's thinking, to encourage people to recruit others and to expand the system, plan, and parameter. Even in this scenario, this point is only partially met. Because, although it is true that more individuals are attempting to flatter, it is also true that more people are being deceived. When they see that they are making money, more people will come, and that is very close. What exactly is it? It's a swindle, a Ponzi scheme. On the other hand, it is also true that this is only a procedure. So you now know how it works and all the laws that apply to this concept. There is also a third oddity, which causes the system to collapse at some time. Even in this scenario, it is partially fulfilled because the system is absolutely true. Wonderland Money and the price have dropped, notably due to the time chatting can collapse in the near future. But the fundamental distinction is that, even if the price of time falls, because there are more people, the price of time will rise. People are beginning to sell the tokens, and fewer are minting new ones. It is obvious that the price will collapse at some point, putting many individuals in jeopardy to become bankrupt, because, as previously stated, the protocol is now ensuring that just one time is backed. By simply $1 it states that the system will begin purchasing till further notice. To maintain not until the price reaches the threshold of 1 beam, i.e., $1. So, on the one hand, it is undeniably true that the system might fail and people can lose their jobs. Do you know how it works? And do you know what the true value of the minimum value is? So, if you're going to invest in it, you'll need to know how much it's really worth of the money, because, in most cases, you don't know what the true value is if it's in a Ponzi scheme. You have no idea if it is supported by anything. In this instance, you know exactly what is backed by a buy wallet, and you know just how much it is. As you can see from the Wonderland Money dashboard right now, each moment is backed by about $800. Even in this scenario, we know that we are only promised that till further notice. At the point when the price reaches $1, one meme, the protocol will begin purchasing TIE tokens. So do the math. And don't be a fool who is only fascinated with the wonderful API. Because, as I've said many times before, in all of the numerous videos that I've done, we don't care about the numbers that are returned to us during our journey together. A control panel. That API is merely a notion. What matters is how much money we will waste, the point at which we make a profit, and the amount of money we receive when we collect gains is proportional to, not just because of the great espionage, but also because of the price and number of tokens we will receive. Keep in mind that it's not just an issue of increasing API. We don't care about that. We must be concerned with the actual money and real game that we will receive at the end. Aside from the third peculiarity, which is the system's shallowness, the fourth peculiarity is, the truth is that we don't know whether the blockchain is completely safe. And if it isn't feasible, we can't be certain. You can create. According to one hypothesis, this is very likely. And I have to say that I agree with you. But don't take anything for granted, this is simply a possibility. And you must manage it in light of the fact that it is only a possibility. Aside from that, I don't believe that this type of platform art and protocol is a shadow. Most of the dynamics and idiosyncrasies are pretty transparent and described. So, at least from this perspective, I believe there is a significant difference between a Ponzi scheme and the Wild West. Money. We'll get back to him shortly. Before I continue, I'd like to speak a few words about the ecology in general, because I believe it is critical to be conscious that while we are discussing, as I already stated, there is no surety. And it's true that the blockchain hasn't been audited. This could be a bug. It's a hackable pool, or whatever you want to call it. It is also true that the price over time can and will rise at any point. And DFP, why could it not be real? At the same time, this is precisely how it works. We're talking about the entire DeFi ecosystem. There is no certainty. Examine them. A farming token can be thrown away at any time. Soon, we've observed numerous distinct classrooms that have been audited at the same time. Harder. So, at the same time, we've seen a lot of evidence suggesting it's not just a case of roaming. In terms of money, I may disagree with those who just criticize Wonderland Money, claiming that it is untrustworthy. A Ponzi scheme, which could be a rock pool or anything else. That is precisely correct. The platform is a high-risk platform with the potential for loss. All of your money, but it's not just a question of money. It's simply an issue of the entire ecosystem, chart platforms that are more secure, and so on. I also saw a video about it, which I'll leave for you in the right corner here. In the many types of plots, I described the various types of platforms. What are the dangers linked with each one? You should be aware that each platform has its own set of features. Its inherent nature and risk are so intertwined that you can't simply dismiss it by saying, "Oh, that's fine." It's astounding how many people are inside the API. Have amassed some cryptos in. It doesn't matter if it's the last week, you must always be prepared to exit. And you must always be prepared for the worst case situation, as it is a possibility. The ritual is getting higher and higher. The risk is also increased, and the greater the likelihood that the worst case scenario will occur. So, based on this overview, we may conclude that, at least in my opinion, but you can't have it both ways. Any viewpoint is valid, therefore please do not hesitate to contact me. What is your opinion? It is, in my opinion, a marvella. Money is not a Ponzi scheme, it is a high-risk protocol that I strongly advise against. To put all of your money into it, but only a percentage of your portfolio. That he aspires to be involved in extremely risky initiatives. It's as if, always have an exit strategy in mind before purchasing a lottery ticket. Because of the cost of this type of token and the actual profit that you will make in the end. Because the procedure might be quite variable. And that is a distinct possibility that could occur at any time. That means you could lose a lot of money or perhaps all of your savings. That is what you must be aware of. I'm not opposed to investing in and using this type of platform. I have nothing against this type of danger, but you must be completely aware of it at all times. You must be completely aware of the risk at all times. I have no objections to this type of danger of a platform, and, to be absolutely honest, I appreciate the fact that we are witnessing a variety of investigations into the FIRE environment. This is the benefit of departing and having the ability to use a platform and into a narrowly staged segment of the market that is mostly uncontrolled, with many participants' experiments where there is a reasonable amount of privacy, and so on. On the other hand, we must always remember that there is no such thing as a free lunch, and that nothing comes for free. Comes at no cost. Yes, we can make a lot of money this way. However, it is also true that we can lose everything. So, do well, your mother and daughter, and underestimate the risk associated with this platform. It's unlikely to be a Ponzi scheme, but it doesn't imply it's completely safe. That's a fairly high-risk game, and you have to maneuver and plan your approach. As a result of this, guys, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below and I will respond as soon as possible. I'd be delighted to answer it for you. If you find this type of information beneficial, please give me a big thumbs up to help me spread the word and make more people aware. Because, once again, awareness is the key. If you want to live a long life in the DeFi world, you must be informed. Yes, there is a limit to how much money you can make in JPY. However, you must be mindful of how quickly you might lose money. What can you do to reduce your risk? Your goal is to stay in the market as long as possible, since the longer you can stay in the market, the better. The longer you can maximize your profits, the better. Remember, we're not simply here to run 100 meters. We've come to run a marathon, an Ironman, or whatever you want. That is to be gained, and we must be prepared and conscious of the many phases. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Bye, video. Bye, video.